Top 10 vintage accessories to perfect your dark academia look. Imagine walking through a centuries-old library, the scent of aged paper in the air, candlelight casting long shadows across towering shelves, and your footsteps echoing against marble floors. You're not just dressed, you're part of a story. Dark academia is more than fashion. It's a philosophy, a lifestyle steeped in knowledge, mystery, and timeless beauty. What truly defines this aesthetic are the details, the quiet accents that carry history, turning clothing into character and style into storytelling. But no aesthetic is complete without the details. Vintage accessories breathe life into the dark academia look, transforming simple outfits into ensembles that feel like they belong to scholars, poets, and dreamers of another era. Today, we dive into the top 10 vintage accessories that don't just complement the aesthetic they perfected. But before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on our upcoming videos. Now, let's get started. Number 10. Leather satchels and briefcases. Nothing says dark academia like a well-worn leather satchel. These bags recall an age when students carried volumes of Greek tragedies and handwritten notes instead of laptops. A vintage leather satchel, with its scuffs and patina, tells a story of journeys taken and knowledge pursued. It is practical yet poetic, a vessel for books, pens, and maybe even a secret letter. A briefcase works just as well, evoking professors walking across ivy-covered courtyards. The worn leather speaks of endurance, of academic dedication, of intellectual romance. Number 9. Pocket watches and classic wristwatches. Timepieces are more than tools in dark academia, they are symbols of reflection. A pocket watch, gleaming with brass or silver, tucked into a waistcoat or clipped to a blazer pocket, feels like something pulled from the Victorian age. Each tick reminds you of fleeting moments and the importance of making them meaningful. Similarly, a classic leather-strapped wristwatch adds refinement without distraction. Unlike modern digital designs, these vintage watches carry gravitas, anchoring your style and history, and reminding you that knowledge itself is timeless. Number 8. Spectacles and vintage eyewear. Round wire-framed spectacles evoke images of scholars absorbed in candlelit study. Whether they're prescription glasses or simply an aesthetic touch, vintage eyewear sharpens the dark academia style. Tortoise shell frames, horn-rimmed lenses, or pince-nez styles whisper of the past while enhancing the intellectual aura. They signal a love for reading, for curiosity, for seeing the world not as it is, but as it might be understood through study. Glasses in dark academia aren't just about vision, they're about perspective. Number 7. Fountain pens and writing instruments. The act of writing has always been central to the academic tradition, and nothing captures that spirit more than a vintage fountain pen. The ink gliding across heavy paper feels more deliberate than tapping on a keyboard. Antique pens, often made of silver or marbled resin, make writing feel like ritual. In the dark academia aesthetic, the pen is not just a tool, it is a companion. Owning one connects you to a lineage of poets, philosophers, and novelists who poured their thoughts onto paper, shaping the intellectual world. Number 6. Brooches and lapel pins. Accessories often whisper rather than shout, and brooches are the perfect quiet embellishments. Vintage brooches, crafted in gold filigree, enamel, or cameo, add subtle elegance to coats, scarves, or blazers. They feel deeply personal, almost like heirlooms. Lapel pins, often with classical motifs such as laurel wreaths, owls, or ancient symbols, align perfectly with dark academia's fascination with history and mythology. These small adornments are like hidden messages, hinting at deeper stories within the wearer's personality. Number 5. Scarves and woolen shawls. The dark academia wardrobe thrives on layers, and scarves play a crucial role. A thick wool scarf in muted tones, camel, charcoal, or deep burgundy, wraps you in comfort while amplifying your scholarly presence. Vintage silk scarves, patterned with Baroque designs or geometric prints, add an old-world charm when draped across shoulders or tied loosely around the neck. Shawls carry an almost Gothic elegance, the kind of accessory you'd imagine wrapped around the shoulders of a character reading poetry by the fireplace of an abandoned estate. Number 4. Leather-bound journals and notebooks. To carry a vintage leather-bound journal is to carry the weight of thought itself. These journals, often embossed with intricate patterns or aged with time, feel like objects of devotion. In the dark academia world, they are not just notebooks. They are repositories of ideas, sketches, fragments of literature, and fleeting inspirations. Even when empty, they carried potential, a silent promise of intellectual pursuits yet to come. Owning such a journal is both practical and symbolic. an accessory that completes the scholarly persona. Number 3. Umbrellas and walking canes. Few accessories feel more cinematic within dark academia than a sturdy umbrella or a vintage walking cane. Think of the long, rainy walks across university courtyards or through cobblestone streets. A well-crafted umbrella, with a wooden handle and fabric canopy, is more than a shield against rain. It is part of the silhouette. A walking cane, though less common today, once symbolized refinement and gravitas. For dark academia fashion, it reintroduces an element of classic elegance, carrying with it echoes of Gothic novels and Victorian style. Number 2. Gloves and leather accessories. Vintage leather gloves embody sophistication and mystery. They transform the simplest coat into a statement, conjuring images of cold winter mornings and hidden letters tucked into gloved hands. Beyond gloves, smaller leather accessories like belts with brass buckles or old-fashioned suspenders add subtle layers to the look. Each detail contributes to an overall image of timelessness, of someone who belongs to both the present and the past. These are accessories not just for warmth or function, but for character and presence. Number 1. Jewelry with symbolism, rings and lockets. Jewelry in dark academia is rarely about glamour, it's about meaning. A vintage ring with an engraved crest or a signet ring bearing family initials speaks of heritage and history. Lockets, especially those holding faded photographs or pressed flowers, embody nostalgia and secrecy. These pieces are intimate, often hidden close to the skin, making them feel like private treasures. The dark academia aesthetic cherishes symbolism, and vintage jewelry is a way to carry personal myths and memories wherever you go. Why vintage matters in dark academia? The dark academia aesthetic thrives on depth, authenticity, and connection to the past. While modern accessories can imitate the look, vintage items carry with them real histories. A leather satchel used by someone decades ago, a pocket watch passed through generations, or a brooch that once adorned a grandmother's coat. These objects are more than adornments. They are storytellers. They hold an aura of lived experience, and that aura infuses the dark academia style with truth. Wearing vintage is not about costume, but about continuity, connecting your intellectual journey with the countless scholars and dreamers who came before. Creating atmosphere through accessories. Accessories in dark academia are not chosen randomly. They create atmosphere. The click of a fountain pen on paper, the ticking of a pocket watch in a silent study hall, the swish of a wool scarf as you cross a rain-soaked street. All of these sounds and textures enrich the experience. They remind us that aesthetics are not only visual but also tactile and auditory. Each accessory deepens immersion in the aesthetic, making every study session, walk, or gathering feel like part of a larger narrative. Living the aesthetic beyond fashion. Dark academia has often been described as an aesthetic of both style and substance. While clothing and accessories play a major role, they are also symbols of lifestyle. Carrying a leather-bound journal encourages writing. Owning a vintage satchel inspires you to fill it with books worth reading. Wearing glasses might remind you to actually sit down with that thick volume of philosophy or literature. A closing reflection. The allure of dark academia lies in its ability to turn the mundane into the meaningful. Walking to class with a satchel, jotting notes in a fountain pen, or adjusting a wool scarf in a quiet corridor. These actions may seem small, but together they create a life steeped in beauty, intellect, and nostalgia. Vintage accessories are not just finishing touches. They are the soul of the aesthetic. They whisper stories of the past, they amplify atmosphere, and they invite you to step fully into the timeless pursuit of knowledge. An invitation to join the journey. If these accessories stirred your imagination, if you could almost feel the texture of leather, the weight of a pocket watch, or the softness of a woolen scarf, then it's time to bring them into your own world. Curating your dark academia look is not about trends. It's about crafting a personal story, one accessory at a time. To continue exploring these timeless inspirations, stay with us here on the Dark Academia Journal. Subscribe, share this journey with fellow dreamers, and let's keep discovering the beauty in knowledge, history, and style together. After all, an aesthetic is never complete until it is lived.